everybody? Welcome to A Flair for Toys, that uncultured heathen. It's your boy Beef. Now, we're not going to talk too much action figures tonight unless y'all want to, but we're going to talk some wrestling, some topics, some people, some ways I think they could be booked, some things I think they could do. But we'll see how it goes. If we get through pretty quick, we may do a Ask Beef anything. So if you got any questions, save them till the end. We'll get the rundown done and we'll get this thing started. So I hope y'all want to talk about some wrestling and different things, guys, and y'all enjoy these. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you subscribe. Come on, Monster. Hit me with the sponsor. All right. First off, I want to talk about American Gladiators. Now, I don't know if it's actually started yet or not. Uh, I haven't been up to date on it. I know it's supposed to have The Miz and a few other wrestlers in there as well. Wardlow, Camille, Rick Boggs, whatever his name was. Now, from what I was told and read, I don't think they're actually going to be the Gladiators. I heard they were just getting the contestants or the gladiators ready. I'm not sure, but we'll look more into that. I always was a fan of the American Gladiators. I like the original one. I've actually met a couple of them, got my pictures and stuff with them. The second rendition with Ali and Hogan wasn't bad. It wasn't as good as the first, but things usually aren't. Same goes with movies, wrestling, all that stuff, guys. Things really never stay the same. You know what I mean? You know, it's like, not to get off topic, but when new movies come out and they say, oh man, you hear they're making a sequel to this, I'm like, man, it's kind of hard 20, 30 years later and trying to make a sequel. And then even if it's not a comedy movie, they always think they got to make it a comedy, which they don't. But anyway, but let's get into it. Um, One of the things we want to talk about is Jay Uso. I made a little small video calling out Rikishi. I thought it was kind of a bad look for Rikishi to go on and rant about his son only having it for 51 days. I don't know how long Kofi had it. It may have been a little longer than that, but we've had plenty of people have short reigns. Kofi, Daniel Bryan, yada yada yada. And to be fair, I know it's your son and your kid, and you want to take up for him. But when your family is all over the top of the card, I don't think you can really complain too much. You know what I mean? But that's just my opinion. Everybody can have theirs. He's entitled to his as well. I just don't think it's really warranted. This doesn't mean he can't stay in the title picture. I don't know if he'll ever have another title run. I would love to see him go back with Jimmy and take the titles away from the old day. Um, I think I think they're better as a team, but some people want them singles. But if I was gonna push either one, I would push Big Jim. I think you could take Big Jim. You wouldn't even have to make him a heel. He could still be not really a traditional baby face, but kind of like a stone cold baby face, you know. But this is how you could do it. You could have him come out for one and say, look, big bruh, you had a good little run, but I always get left behind. Roman left me behind. You left me behind. But I'm the elder, even though he's not older than Roman. He's older than Solo. He's older than Jacob. And tell him, you know, I'm the one that started this day one and shit. So I'm going to take it back and show you how to get this done. Big Jim is working his way to the top. And then he could call out, not necessarily call out Jacob, but say, Jacob, I'm not coming for you yet. But if we happen to meet, you know, we're still blood. I still got y'all's back, yada, yada, yada. I think more people could get behind Big Jim than the whole Yeet thing. You know, you got to go out there. It's one thing to go get over. Like Dusty Rhodes said, just go get over. Go get over, baby. Now, granted, Jey Uso did, but when he held the title, does anybody think he elevated that title or himself? I do not think that. I mean, especially showing up at the press conferences hammered, and he just he got handed this and wasn't expecting it, and then didn't know what to do with it, didn't know how to handle it. It's basically like somebody when they win the lottery, and then 2 years later you see them and they're broke because they didn't know how to handle it. You know what I mean? They weren't prepared for it. You know? And it's nothing against Jey Uso. And let me put this out there, guys. I am in no way an athlete. I've never wrestled. So all these guys are way better than me. I just give my opinion by watching it. I respect everything that they do out there. It's a lot of hard work and dedication. But sometimes you can always just see who gives that extra effort and who don't. I didn't see that coming out of Jey Uso. All he cared about was being with the fans and eating, and then being out of breath and gassed out. And he never was really great in the ring to begin with. So I'm glad he got his little moment. I'm glad he got to shine. I was never on the whole yeet train myself, but I don't knock him for it. Hey, you went and got over, but you didn't take full advantage of it. That's all I'll say. I would push Big Jim. I think Big Jim could really get over. I just think it could work. Now, for Jay to get back over, I think Jay needs to turn heel. You know? And, come out and, you know, jump on a baby face or something and, turn on Cody. Turn on Cody when they're tagging together. Or what? Aren't they supposed to fight in the King of the Ring tournament or something? Cheat to win or something like that. And, say, I got to get back to my spot. Nobody respected me. And yada, 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 this and that, whoop-de-woo, whatever. But I think for him to really get over, you need to turn him heel. I mean, I don't think they'd be doing the yeet chants anymore. I don't know. And maybe that's selling merch. I mean, so maybe you don't want to do that. But y'all give me y'all's opinion. I appreciate y'all coming in, hanging out with me. What's up, D-Dub? We were just talking a little bit about American Gladiator, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso. I think they should push Big Jim. Get away from the yeet train. I've heard rumors of them get back together, but I would still like to see them have another run. But I would really like to push Jimmy Uso and see what he could do with it. You know what I mean? Now maybe he falters out, too, but yeah, exactly. And that's what I was saying. He could come out and say, little bro, you had your time to shine. It's time for me. It's time for me not to be underneath you, underneath Roman. I'm gonna show everybody besides Roman, I am the elder here. And I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna take it back to day one-ish, penitentiary style, and we're gonna get this thing done. Hey, what's going on, Ryan? How are you, my man? But I really think the fans would get behind him. You wouldn't have to make him a heel. You could make him a kind of like a tweener. He was still like a baby face, but he'd still break some rules here and there. The other thing I got to talk about is, I don't know if everybody's heard this, seen this. First of all, R-Truth, Ron Killings, got a little video out, a little country song. I like it. It's really good. Check it out. Exactly. But beside that, I don't know if you heard what went on between him and Bully Ray on Busted Open. But apparently, after when he had done the promo and cut his hair and all that, he said, and that's the whole truth and nothing but the truth, or something like that, right? Well, Bully came out the next day on Busted Open and said he didn't like that R-Truth did that. He said, if you're going to go out there and you're going to cut your hair and you're going to go to Ron Killings He said, I don't need no more of the truth gimmick even in there. I don't need you to even mention it. You know, well, the next day, Truth, Ron Killens, calls up Busted Open and kind of jumps on Bubba, but not really. If you listen to it, it sounds like a promo, and it sounds like he's doing kind of like a schizophrenic character. Like he's kind of talking to Bubba, but he's kind of talking to himself. But if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's really good. Uh, okay, gonna check out the finals. Nothing wrong with that. OKC gonna take it. Uh, but I think he might be going in that direction as a new character. Now I'm not for sure, but that's just the way it seems. And Bubba is great. Bubba always Bubba always tells the truth, and people call him an a-hole for it. But he only says what he thinks and what he means, just like I do. We don't pull no punches. You know, if you like it or you don't like it, whatever. You know. Hey Tyler, how you doing, man? Welcome in. You're in the driver's seat now, Ryan. Well, that's good, man. Unless you're under the influence, then don't be in the driver's seat. But I'm curious to see what they do with Truth, uh, Ron Killens, whatever they want to call him. They need to keep him in the main title picture with this new gimmick. I think if you falter him down, then what's the point of even bringing him back? I'm not saying you got to put the title on him, but I think you got to have him in there. You know what I mean? When you do these gimmick matches like Money in the Bank and um, Elimination Chamber, these different ones like that with the multi-men, I think he needs to be in there. Even when Cena's gone, I still think he needs to stay in the picture for at least the next year or so. Otherwise, did you really get your money's worth? You know what I mean? The other thing I want to talk about before we get on to some other stuff, I put out another video. I don't know if y'all saw it. Please check out the videos. I post mostly on TikTok, but I do post some over here. But Karrion Kross. I pitched the idea of Karrion Kross becoming the new leader of the Wyatt Six. I would like to bring in Aleister Black, get rid of one or two people that's already over there, let Alexa Bliss go because she doesn't want to do the gimmick anyway, put Scarlett in that spot, but we need Karrion Kross to become Killer Kross. You could always still have Bo Dallas in there as Uncle Howdy, but not have him really in the forefront. You know what I mean? You could have him like a go-between or something. There's ways that you could even do this. I'm sure they probably interacted somewhere and somebody has a clip of it, them talking or something that they kind of said something similar. And you could tie this all back to where Kross was behind the whole Fiend thing or whatever. There's a way to do it. So I would really like to see them try something like that. You know, it takes a little more work, a little more effort, but it could be done. Having Aleister Black as like your main muscle with him and maybe Eric Rowan or whatever would be good. I don't think you need all the other characters in there. I really don't dig the whole Nikki Cross thing, but some people, I guess, like it. I don't really dig it. Can you dig it? No, I really don't dig it. I've never been a big fan of Nikki Cross. I mean, she can work, but I've just never got, you know, the gimmick just didn't really catch me. You know, she's just supposed to be crazy. She tried to be in the group Sanity. That really didn't go nowhere. I know people want the Wyatt Six to work, but just behind Bo Dallas, I don't think it's going to work. I think you need somebody that could carry it and carry the mic and make this thing work. Put the ones in the chats or some stakes in the chats if you agree with me. If you disagree, that's fine too. We got a little Hornswoggle right here, guys. We did open him last night. We got a package earlier from Jay's Toys and Games, but no wrestling figures. Yeah, yeah, and that's it. I mean, the masks and everything are cool, but the characters under the mask not really, not really working. Um, I mean, I get Eric Rowan being in there and Alexa Bliss, but Alexa Bliss doesn't want to be in there, so let her go back doing her own thing. If you want to keep Rowan, that's fine because he's got the original connection with the Wyatt family. So I understand that. Big Red, whatever his name is, whatever he's going by, whoop de woo, whatever. I don't know if I brought the no. Dang, I didn't bring the other one in here. I had a couple other figures I was gonna show. I did pick up a couple more platinums, but they're super friends. And I picked up the last biker mice from Mars that we needed. Now we just got to get two more bikes. But yeah, I think go back to the Little Miss Bliss. I think it works. I don't know that she. I think maybe she could be like a U.S. champion or an intercontinental champion. I don't necessarily think she needs to be like the women's world champion or anything. I think her time is kind of past for that. You know, I think that needs to be for more people coming up like Stephanie Vaquer and people already established, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Naomi, stuff like that for right now. Uh, oh yeah, yeah. What's up, Chris Dearman? How we doing, my man? So yeah, that's and there's another topic, but I really can't get into it right now because I didn't have time to fact check a lot of stuff. But a buddy of mine had ran across a good question, would be a good topic for the show, but I would really have to sit down and go and look who already's in and who I think would be eligible. But he asked me if I thought they needed to quit doing a Hall of Fame every year because it's just getting overcrowded. And I agree. I think we're just putting in people to fill spots. All right, all right. I hope they win, man. I don't really got no stake in it, but they close to us anyway. So go ahead and get your win, man. That'll be y'all's first one ever, right? I think so. I mean, I know y'all been there before, but I don't think y'all ever won it, right? Back when y'all had Russell and Durant and Harden and all them and still couldn't get it done. Every 4 years and 10. Okay, I mean that's not terrible. I could live with that. I would even be opposed like 5 and 10, 5 years and 10. Uh, but either one is good. Um, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I wasn't for sure. I don't keep up with it like I used to, but um, I was trying to sit here and just think off my top of my head who could go in that isn't already in. I mean, when you're sitting in here, and no disrespect to any of these people, I said it before. Coco Beware is in the Hall of Fame. Does Coco Beware belong in the Hall of Fame? I think he had an okay career, but I don't think it's Hall of Fame worthy. And I know this is the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, none of these guys are in a regular, Hall of Fame for wrestling that I know of. Uh, and then they want to put all the gimmick people in there. We got Snoop Dogg in there. I'm sure we'll end up having Travis Scott in there. I mean, it's just getting watered. That's the problem with nowadays, guys. We water down everything. We think we have to have more, 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 more. The old saying goes, sometimes less is more. You know, I mean, I I liked it back when wrestling didn't have Monday and Friday and Thursday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Man, it's just too much. It's too much. For one, you can't keep up with it all, and another thing, it's not very good. You water down each promotion because you can't keep enough talent. Yeah, I can't keep up either, man. I mean, these guys that go out there, they watch Monday Night Raw, and then they watch NXT, and then they watch AEW, and then they watch, I guess, what, TNA comes on Thursday, and then they watch SmackDown on Friday, and then you got the PLEs usually on Saturday, and now you got Evolve, and good Lord. It is way too much to keep up with. But you watered down the talent, you know? Um, but the Hall of Fame, that's a good thing. Maybe we'll look into doing more on it next week if I have time to research more. Because I don't want to be sitting up here and saying names that are in and ain't. But when you're putting in Michelle McCool, Coco Beware, uh, I'm sure if they hadn't already, Nikki and Brie Bella going in and stuff like that. It's just I don't know. I mean, are we putting Hornswoggle in there? I mean, is he on the ballot? I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure, and the other thing I was telling my buddy too, it's hard to do that because these guys wrestle so long till they're like 50, 52, 55, hell, sometimes 60 anymore, you know? So do you put them in while they're still wrestling? I mean, I guess you could. I'm sure some have. Yeah, that mini Triple H, that's Hornswoggle. You don't remember Hornswoggle? Used to be parts with Major Pop. I don't know if I know he's still friends with him, but I don't think he really does too much with him anymore. I don't know. Maybe he does. But yeah, we're probably gonna jump off here in a few minutes. I'm gonna jump on TikTok for a little bit. Uh, we'll go over there and talk some stuff. Yeah, and that's what I want to go back. I want to see who all like deserved it that's not in there. I mean, I know Bruno's in there, stuff like that. I mean, hell, is Larry Zabisco in the Hall of Fame? You know, is Iron Anderson in the Hall of Fame? I know Iron Anderson's in for the Four Horsemen, but I mean, come on, man. Barry Windham. I mean, I would put all these guys in there before I put somebody like Coco Beware. Now I don't know if Kane is in there, but I really think Kane deserves to be in there. Uh, and of course, the Undertaker already is, but the Undertaker and Kane are two guys that took their gimmick and turned what could have been crap in and shined it up real nice. See, I don't even know if he's going to get to have his final match. It looked like he's already hurt. They said he got hurt in training. I mean, I know he's got till like July 12th or whatever, but he looked like he could barely walk the other night. Speaking of Goldberg, now if this young Goldberg was fighting Gunther, I would be interested. But 51, 52-year-old Goldberg against Gunther, I'm not impressed. And I don't get upset when anybody says to them Undertaker is the greatest of all time. He's not to me, but if I really sit back and look, I can say he's the greatest gimmick of all time. I could sit here and say that now. He's the greatest gimmick of all time. Yeah, he was limping. I didn't think he was gonna make it. But I mean, I know they do it for the nostalgia factor, and that's another thing. Go back to the Jay Uso. A lot of people said, "Oh, they just took it off of Jay because they wanted Gunther and Goldberg." You know, I mean, is that why they did it? Maybe. Think they're gonna sell some tickets because they're gonna be in Atlanta where Goldberg played, and the whole TBS thing and all that stuff. So that it could be some into it. But I think they had kind of just had enough of Jay too. They like, look, I know it ain't been long, but you had a month and a half, 2 months, whatever, and we not seeing what we thought you could have been, if they even really thought that. You know what I mean? Well, I've never been a Goldberg fan. I mean, I didn't get the whole, oh, let me just do like two moves and not really learn to wrestle and run through everybody. But a lot of people loved it. Hey, that's another thing. With what little he was trained, he did get himself over. So, hey, congrats to him. No yeet. Uh, but I mean, I like Gunther. I mean, here's the thing. I don't think Gunther had the greatest title run either. But when they call him the ring general, it's for a reason. You know, he he's not the most flashiest person. He's not gonna go around yeeting everywhere. But he comes in there and he puts on a hard hitting match, and the matches are usually pretty good. But what you get outside of that, not really much. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm sure he is. I had a picture I showed the other day. My buddy had actually met him at some racing event, and he said, "Man, I know who you are, but I'm not really a big fan. I'm not into wrestling, but my buddy is. Would you sign this for him?" And told him my name and everything. He signed it for him and stuff. So yeah, I mean he's cool. It's just it's hard for us hardcore fans to get over what he did to Brett. Now, I don't think he meant to do it, but the fact that you didn't know how to throw a working kick, then you shouldn't have been doing it, you know? Oh, yeah. But I mean, I could almost probably say he was the best gimmick ever. Undertaker took that gimmick. When he came out of Survivor Series, I was like, okay, he looks kind of cool. Let's see where they're going with this. And they do some hokey stuff here and there. I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna last 2 to 3 years. And what, he went 30 years, 40 years, whatever. So hey. But the one thing with Undertaker, he knew he had to change. Now he didn't change his whole persona. He just changed little bit at little bit. You know? Now that's a professional right there. Yeah, Brett still ain't forgave Goldberg. Brett forgave Sean before he forgave Goldberg. Imagine that. When in all actual reality, you should have never forgave Sean, because if it wasn't for Sean, you would have never really left to the WWF or to the WCW. Yeah, I always liked Bray Wyatt. I mean, there were some holes in his stuff too, but he was great on the mic. But he was great on the mic, but then he wasn't. If you actually go back and look, he's sitting there and you're all into it, and then at the end of it, you're like, well, what the hell did he really say? It didn't really go nowhere. Everything sounded cool, and I enjoyed it, but all right, where's it end up? You know what I'm saying? Old Vince, Brett screwed Brett. Yeah, Undertaker, Ultimate Warrior 2. Well, guys, man, I appreciate it. Good little rant, good little talk. Um, we'll get some more stuff going. Maybe we'll look into this Hall of Fame thing more for next week or something else. But if y'all got any topics y'all want to talk about, I don't mind talking about it. Um, yeah, we all miss Eddie. But if you're in here and you're not subscribing, please hit the subscribe button. And if you didn't get to watch all this, you can watch it. It will reload in about 12 hours. So until then, guys, I may be leaving, but I'm still that uncultured heathen. And we the ones.